Hello everybody, my name is Christian Swenson. I do videos here on YouTube about autism, autistic consciousness, and life on the autism spectrum. So, question for you, how's your handwriting? You might have really good handwriting. In fact, some of you probably do, even those of you on the spectrum. Maybe it's your special interest, calligraphy, doing all those illustrated, illuminated manuscripts. Maybe that's your thing. I'm not an artist, and my handwriting has historically been awful. And in fact, I've been reading autistic autobiographies over the last few months. This is a recurring trend I've noticed. My handwriting was my least favorite subject in school. Handwriting was always a struggle. You can sometimes tell an autistic child or an autistic adult by their handwriting. It's uncoordinated. It speaks to a lack of connection between the hand and the arm and the shoulder and the body and the mind, right? There's less connection there. There's like little weird spots where the letters are oddly shaped. Maybe they hold the thing differently. I was watching videos just recently about how people deal with their autistic child hating handwriting in school, hating having to do handwriting because it takes planning, it takes spatial awareness, it takes all of those things. Well, I know that struggle. I know that battle. But I have discovered a way to improve my life. Not just, my life, but, the world that I perceive, the world that I live my life in as it appears to me becomes better, becomes more interesting. I become more present in it as I improve my handwriting. Now, what does it mean, improve your handwriting? I don't necessarily mean making it better. I mean something else. Make your handwriting different. Handwriting can be automatic. Handwriting can be something that is just like the tension in our bodies, something we just carry with us without realizing we're carrying it with us. But, what if all of a sudden you decided to, instead of moving your regular way, move in a completely different way? Even if it's not any better or worse, it's different, and so you become aware of the difference, and you become aware, right? Difference, contrast leads to awareness and leads to embodiment. Same is true with handwriting. And handwriting has many unique tools that it can teach us, many unique things, many unique teachings it can let us know about our bodies, the way we hold our bodies, the way we use our bodies to inhabit our environments, and a whole bunch of other things. So, you've heard the phrase, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, an English sentence that supposedly contains all the letters in the alphabet. I'll have to ask my wife if there's a Swedish equivalent because they have extra letters. But I'll write at least the first few words of it, kind of like a handwriting sampler, right? And I'm going to try to do my handwriting as I've historically done it. I'll see if I can do that, right? But it won't be very good, okay? And I'm going to point out some things about my handwriting after I do it that we can maybe detect. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. You can see I forgot the A there, right? And I was going to put a Y at the end of dog for some reason, right? Not very good, right? It's probably deliberately not very good, and so kind of artificial in that way, right? But I want to point some things out to you that may not be universally true, but are true about me, and tell you things about me. There's a direct causal relationship here for me, right? Notice how tall the letters are. The only capital letter in this sentence is much taller than the lowercase letters. Now, what's up with that? The B, super tall thing, right? The F is much taller than the O and the X. Well, ever since I was a child, I was obsessed, probably subliminally obsessed, with maximizing the contrast between the uppercase and the lowercase letters. I'm going to make the T super tall, and I'm going to make the stem on the H super tall, make this thing, the little hump on the H super small, right? I wanted it to be elongated. I wanted it to be skinny and tall like a T, right? Tall starts with T, so I guess that makes sense, right? But what that does, interestingly, is it shows how I like certain letters more than other letters. And moreover, I like certain shapes in certain letters more than other shapes in other letters, or in the same letter, right? You can tell that in the T, I like this shape a lot more than this shape, right? In the Q, I like this shape a lot more than this shape, right? And I don't really like the U at all, right? And I tend to like this letter. I like this letter. I like this shape. I like this letter, right? All of those things are things that appeal to something in me, right? There's a part of Donna Williams' book, Autism and Sensing, where she talks about the different edges people have. That may not make sense to you immediately, but hopefully it will as I explain it. Some people have fuzzy edges. I'm not one of those people. I have prickly edges. I have crinkly edges, sharp edges. And you can tell what that means because my consonants are very enunciated, right? There's a whole synesthesia thing, right, about kiki, right? That this is kiki, this is booba. 99% of people would say so. Well, I'm kiki, right? Although I've been told I'm a kiki who's very aware of the booba, and I'm working on being more of a booba, right? I hope that makes some sense to you. It might not, right? But if we're going to kind of extend that logic, that way of perceiving, right? T would be a very kiki letter, as would K, as would F, right? Consonants especially, but some consonants much more than others. And some parts of some letters more than other parts. And it made me wonder, what would happen if I deliberately tried to emphasize the other parts, the booba parts of the letters? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this very messy kiki. They don't have to be messy. Kiki doesn't have to be messy, but this messy kiki way of writing and replace it with a booba way. I'm going to try to feel my way imperfectly into another style of writing, another emphasis, another focus. Kind of more like this, right? And that thing I was doing with my shoulders. And so I'm going to say the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, right? So we're going to go. We're going to make, instead of the T tall, we're going to make it shorter than it normally is, right? Maybe even shorter than that, right? The quick. See how differently this is? Right? See how, that looked kind of like an A, so maybe I have to compromise here. The quick. And notice also how I'm minimizing the difference between the uppercase and the lowercase letters. That's against my natural tendency. The quick brown. And I'm doing more rounded edges here. Quick brown fox. No, that's too kiki. There we go. The quick brown fox. And you can see it's kind of a struggle here, isn't it? Jump over. You probably can't see this, but you will in a minute. The lazy dog. Now, I'm sure this isn't the best handwriting. Still, it's better, but that's not the point. The point is, it is the diametric opposite to what I did before. And I feel different after having written this. I had to go against my habits, my habitual nature, to write this way, and I can feel the change in nature, the change in habits beginning to occur. My shoulders are less tense. I can move my hand somehow more easily. I don't know. I feel more present in my arms. And that tells you something about handwriting, right? When you write only with your wrists, that's a lot of alliteration right there, you tend to write poorly. Write wrongly if you want to continue the alliteration, right? But if you maybe write with all your arm or maybe all your shoulder and maybe even more, right? That's including not just the hand in the shaping, but the whole human being, right? And the more you change your handwriting deliberately, the more you are involving all of you in what you write. So this is also true, interestingly, of learning a foreign language. When you learn a foreign language, you are not just learning a different set of tokens to say the same things, right? So, for instance, let me erase this. The German among you, forgive me for my pronunciation. The Germans among you will know that the German word for head is Kopf. I don't know much German, but I know this, Kopf. That's the German word for head. Now, what's the Italian word for head? It's this, testa, testa. Now, these are the same word, kind of, right? They mean the same thing. They translate to each other in Google Translate, probably. But when a German person, a person that has been raised using this word, thinks of the word head, I would wager that they think of something different than the Italian person thinks when they think the word testa. This is how I'll explain it. The German person, I'd wager, I heard this from someone who speaks German natively, they would think of that. They would think of the hollowness of the head, Kopf, 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 that kind of thing, right? They would think of the head as an object, as something that inhabits space among other objects, right? As like a bowling ball or whatever, right? The Italian doesn't think that. The Italian thinks of something that, like the T, right? It kind of asserts itself, right? It attests, it testifies, similar words in English, right? It is a testament, right? It's a declaration of what you are, right? And so these are very different imaginations of what a head is, right? And you can look into different languages and you can see different imaginations, not just of particular objects, but of the world itself. I've been learning a lot of French lately. Je prends le français tous les jours. And I may have butchered that, I don't know, but je prends, I don't know, but so when I watch YouTube videos in French, which I can basically mostly understand at this point, most of them I can understand entirely, it creates a similar feeling in my body that happened when I wrote in that different way, right? It's a feeling of trying on a different way of being. And French and Swedish and German and Italian are different ways of being. And that's a healing thing for me. It teaches me how to be differently. And because of the contrast, it teaches me to pay attention to how I am. Comment je suis, right? I don't know if that's right, but yeah, so I would encourage you to experiment with your handwriting. Experiment with different ways of writing a T, different ways of writing a K, different ways of writing an F, different ways of writing a P, whatever, right? And feel as you write, what does this P feel like? Now I'm writing it with a short stem instead of a long stem, or maybe a long stem instead of a short stem. You are experimenting with different ways of being, right? So, my name's Christian Swenson. I'll probably do a video that will come out early next week, as I'll try to stick to the three videos a week thing I've been doing. And I hope you're doing well. Take care, everybody.